Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be doing the technical analysis near term and long term for Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Ripple, and Bitcoin Cash. If you like our videos, please follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. We also have a model portfolio, so you can follow our positions and progress. The link is down below. If you'd like to be notified of our latest videos, please hit the bell button. So hopefully by the end of this video, you should have a clear picture of where the top 5 cryptos are going in the near term and long term future. So let's start with Bitcoin on a weekly basis. So on a weekly basis, it still looks good. The uptrend is still intact. We have confirmation to the upside here, bounce off of the 50 on the weeklies. So that's a very good sign. As I said before a couple weeks ago, is that the weeklies haven't confirmed since September of 2016 to the upside. We had a fail here and a fail here, so it looks pretty good. Our only problem here is that we need to get above 11.7, because the idea is that we need to create a new higher high. So here we have a higher high, but here we have a lower high, lower low. The good thing is that here we have a higher low, but here we don't know where it's going yet. So until it goes up here, we don't know if this is going to be a higher high. So we still have to be a little bit more cautious. It could zigzag for a while, and if it does, it could be like the chart. If you looked at our why not the hodl video that I made a few weeks ago, this chart could be very similar to Qualcomm. So after Qualcomm went up like 30x in 1 year, it went choppy. It went down and it went choppy for almost 15 years. So we have to try to avoid that. So let's look at the dailies, so we have a clear idea of what's going to happen in the next week or so. So here the dailies, if you look at it, it's just sideways action. So so it started going up. This is where we had taken a long position. It went higher. Right now it is hanging around major resistance at 9,400. It failed to close above it. So here the wicks, it goes higher, higher, higher. Now it's been stuck in a channel. So here we have a higher high, but the thing is it hasn't broken this little level here. So that's the key, and I'm going to show you that on a longer time frame. But until it breaks this little level here, it's about the 9,700, right? We can't continue on an upward scale. And then we have to be able to watch for this candle, because today it is been down since the opening last night. Bitcoin has been getting hurt a little bit. I think most of the coins are also down, but the 200 EMA, the daily, is right here at 87. It held it here before. It got really close here. It never really came close here. It's only at 9,000. So hopefully the trend will continue to go back up to the upside. So one of the things for me for TA is that I don't really make predictions about where I think it's going to go. I am a trend trader. So what I do is really just follow the trend. I'm not really trying to create waves. So I just look at the charts in a very natural way. So that's why when I see the charts, I see that because it's created a new higher high from here, right, it looks pretty good. And because we have a higher low from here, it also looks pretty good. But once again, just like on the weeklies, we have to get past this 11,800 marker, this next red major resistance line up ahead. So let's look at the shorter time frames and talk about, and then we can see what's going on a little bit better, right, recently. So this is the 30-minute chart. Look at the 90-minute chart. I think I made a trade on that one before. This way you can kind of see what's been going on recently. So I shifted gears on Bitcoin, because what I was doing was, before I was just buying the dip. I bought here, I bought here, I bought here every time it would go lower. But now, recently, I just shorted. I did get out of my short because I still believe in the long side move to the upside. But it's really because of the waves. So we have here a higher high. This is undetermined. This is a high. But now we have a higher low. We have a higher high, higher low. But then here we finally have our first lower high. Then we have a lower low. And on my Twitter page, click on it here, I talked about why I took the trade to the downside. And before, I didn't know if we're going to create a new lower low. So let's look at it. Right, so it went lower high, lower low, lower high, and lower low question mark, and it did. So it went further down. So that's really the system. It's nothing brand new. It's nothing really fancy, but it works. So here it bounced off the 200. I ended up getting out at the 8900. I'm actually going to wait for a move to the upside, and if it confirms to the upside again on one of the other candles, especially on the 90, if it closes above here, then I might go long again, buying the bounce up to the top. So we'll see what happens there. So let's look at Ether. So Ether is the same story as Bitcoin on a long-term scale. So we have confirmation on the weeklies to the upside. So I still believe it's going to go a little bit higher. But the difference with Ether and Bitcoin is that we never had, Ether took a long time for it to go down. So because of that, it never had a wave. So this is actually the first wave off the top here. So if you look at it here on a weekly basis, as it goes to the top, this is the first real wave down. So because of that, we don't know what's going to happen here. So if it because then this could be a lower, our first higher low wave. So this is a lower high, there's a higher high here, and then if it continues to go, if it can go all the way up to this zone over here. So let's look at the dailies. So on the dailies, it's the same pattern as Bitcoin. It's just been going sideways for pretty much the last week. So right now it is at mid-level resistance at 668. So the next target here is 785 to the upside, and then really there are a couple of headwinds up to almost 1,000 up here. So here we'll see what's going on the 90-minute. So as you can see, it's been channeling. So as it went up, it went down, and then it's just been channeling. It's been hugging the 50 on the 90 pretty well, bouncing off of it until yesterday. But it made a very nice comeback. Bitcoin has been dawdling a little bit, but I think some of the other coins have been doing a little bit better, especially for Ether. Ether seems like Ether and Ripple are the two best after the bounce. So let's look at Litecoin. So Litecoin is a little bit late to the party for the upside move. So the good thing about Litecoin though is that if it goes higher, I think it can go back up to the 260 area. I've been trading Litecoin pretty well. The unfortunate part about Litecoin now is that volume has been dying. So I might have to get rid of Litecoin and add another coin to my portfolio, my watch list, because it's getting harder and harder to trade as volume dies down. But the long term, looks pretty good. We'll see if it confirms and continues to go higher. On the dailies, it's the same story here. It's been going sideways, but the Litecoin hasn't recovered as well as Ether has. So it's still a little bit negative, but it's in between two ranges, 160 to the upside and 142 to the downside. So we have a medium-term resistance here, a medium-term support over here, and it's kind of caught in the channel. And this is the big bar right here. So if you look at this, right over here, right over here. So this is these two lines here. This is where we're stuck. You can see it, show it better. Right, we're stuck in between this little range right here. Right, so until it gets out of this range, right, it'll have a hard time, right, picking a direction. So right now, long term looks pretty good to the upside, but right now it's just channeling. So we'll see what it does. Will it break to the downside? Will it go to the upside? Right now it's not in a downside move because we're still in a daily inside bar on this big one. So we'll see what happens. So hopefully you're enjoying our video. Please subscribe to our channel, and you can follow us also on Twitter and Telegram to get intraday updates on all of our charts and some of the things that we've been looking at, especially on Telegram. Let's go to Ripple. So Ripple's been holding pretty steady. On a weekly basis, it looks very, very strong. It also never made a move, but it's still a relatively new coin, so there isn't that much data over here. But if it breaks this little level here, it can go higher, back up to 120. Let's look at the daily. I want to show you the daily because this is what can happen with a coin that doesn't have as much volume. So this long little wick here, I talked about it last week when this thing happened. I actually know someone personally who got in at a very good price at about 59 cents here to the upside. He was making a lot of money, and then he put his he trailed his stop loss really wide at 65 cents, and he got kicked out. Right? So he had a very, very nice winner to the upside, and he ended up getting kicked out because of this long little tail. So bad fills happen. Right, we just have to be careful of them. So I had a bad fill the other night on Bitcoin as well. So we have to always be very cautious of these stop market orders, especially if we place them way down below, because if a price hits, that can be a problem. So let's talk about Ripple on a daily basis. Though it looks like it's going down, but it has recovered pretty well. Let's look at the 90-minute here, so we'll have a better idea. So in the 90-minute, things look a little bit better. We had this big long wick here. It came back up, but it broke below the 200 and the 90. But now, as you can see, it's been hanging around 85 cents, which is medium-term resistance. So if it breaks this level here and can break this high up here, then it can easily go back up to the $1.20 area that we see up here. Let's go to Bitcoin Cash. This is the one that's been on fire. So Bitcoin Cash, same thing as Ripple. It doesn't have a lot of data because it's a relatively new coin. But on the weeklies, it looks still pretty strong. On the dailies, it looks pretty strong as well because it hasn't really. Today is the first time it's actually changed color to the downside over here. But once again, it's been channeling. So we have this big bar here. And then so everything has been inside. So for the last week, all the action has been inside of this daily bar. So until it really breaks out, right? Because right now it's stuck between major resistance at 1553 and major support at 1154. So right now it's in this little bit of a channel, but until it breaks out, we don't know where the direction is. My guess though is it's going to go long. So if I would hold it, if I get a signal, that's where I would go. So on a 90-minute candle, Bitcoin Cash is looking a little bit better. Almost looks like a Bitcoin where it bounces off the 200 EMA and goes a little bit higher here, but it really needs to confirm and break out above the 50 for it to continue to go back up to the 1500 range over here. So it's kind of stuck in between these two zones. So in my opinion, I think Bitcoin Cash will kind of hover here for a little bit. Right, and then, but just like before, until it breaks out of this little zone here, this zone here at 1228 and 1555, right, we won't have a clear direction of long-term trend. But right now, the trend is just basically sideways action for now. And it gets really fuzzy if you drill down even lower, right here. Because now here, if it hits this or hits this zone, and if it breaks down, then it can go a little bit lower. But 1300 medium term support now is holding pretty well. So let's look at Bitcoin because I want to show you what I talk about on my 30-minute charts, because it's the same thing here for Bitcoin. The problem for Bitcoin on a daily basis here, let's look at it here, is that most of the price action has been within one big bar, right? So because of that, this big bar here and here, it kind of covers everything. So everything has been inside this bar. So basically this is day 6, right, of inside action on a big bar. So because of this move here, everything has been going sideways, and we need to break out of it before we can go higher or lower. My guess is higher, just because that's where the recent trend has been going, because trends take time. So that's why I don't really try to look at price action on a smaller time frame, especially when it's in a very choppy area, because it can give you a lot of false signals, right? So you have to always zoom out and always look at the forest and figure out where the long-term, medium-term trends are. And right now, because they're up, right, I'm still very optimistic to the upside moves, and my preference is to take long trades. So thank you very much for watching. We really appreciate it. If you like our videos, please share it with your friends and other crypto traders. You can follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. If you have any questions, please ask away in the comment section below. We do a very good job of answering all of our comments and questions right away. So thank you again for watching, and see you in our next video.